guys, it's Andy with Just Ask Andy. I'm here with Sid, and today we're going to do an interview. He's actually a realtor. I'm going to let him introduce himself.
Hey, what's going on, family? I'm Sid Thomas, realtor, master in business administration. Also, your Houston, Texas #1 realtor with Century 21 Real Estate Group.
All right, guys. So today we're going to ask him a couple of questions that you guys may need answers for. So let's get right into the question. The first question is, would you recommend renting or owning? Why?
Of course, I would recommend owning because, renting is just throwing your money out the door.
Okay.
The #1 thing about buying is the fact that you get tax credit for it.
Oh,
now,
okay.
When you're renting, of course, that's just money that's just going out the door. And I do own rent property, so I can say this confidently. When you pay your rent, you're actually paying my mortgage. So, that's just what it is. That's just the honest truth, just trying to be real, So, I definitely suggest buying over renting. That's like the #1 way to go. It'll definitely help you in the long run, and of course, at some point it'll be yours.
Okay, guys. The second question we're going to ask Sid is, before searching for a home, what should a person think about? Whether it's budgeting, savings, taxes, or any other fees they should think about.
The first thing when you get ready to shop for a house, the absolute first thing that everybody should do is contact Sid Thomas. Now we got that out the way. All right. You want to make sure that you have your some savings. You can't buy a house with $0.
Okay.
Now you might, at the end of the transaction, it might cost you $0, but you have to show the lender because they're going to lend you X amount of dollars. So they want to know that you have some kind of money on deck.
Okay.
Now, you also want to be understand your credit score and know where you at credit wise. A lot of people come into the process and they got like a 400 credit score. They're just not ready to buy at that moment.
Right.
That doesn't mean no. That just means you're not ready at that moment.
Okay.
So being cautious of your credit score and also understanding that you need to have some kind of money on deck.
Okay.
Now, taxes, of course, you got to pay those regardless.
Yeah.
Now, they can fluctuate between different areas. So, of course, if you're in River Oaks, of course, those properties are going to be much more expensive.
Yes.
And the taxes are probably going to be more than my house now. But, those things, you don't really worry about those things. Anytime you call any realtor, they should have all the tools that you need to be successful as far as going through the process. Of course, the next thing, once you get under contract, you want to make sure that you have insurance from a reputable company.
Okay.
And nothing against all the big name companies. I'm not going to name your name, but they don't offer the best rates all the time. Okay, so it's always good to shop around.
Okay, so before you go to Sid, you would want to check your credit, and that's when you call Just Ask Andy, and we will try to assist you with that before you get to Sid, because it saves time when you actually look at your credit report and you see some issues you may have or you need to build your credit. So why not start with your credit first and then go to Sid? That will make his job easier and it will help me. All right, we'll go to the third question. What is the average credit score do an individual need to get approved for a home? And if it's not a single, it's a couple, what do they need to do?
The credit wise, the #1 thing is having at least a 600 credit score.
Okay.
Now, there are some lenders who can do it with a 580.
Okay.
But of course, when you're dealing with 580s, they require more. So,
correct.
Of course, you have a 580, you can buy a house, but they're going to require that you have way much more money down.
Okay. For us, the down payment.
For us, the down payment is for us. They call them reserves. So,
correct.
In case, like, let's say you lose your job, you got 6 months payments. They want to know that you have reserves when you have a 580. But when you get to the 600 and of course the 640 mark, it's a much easier process.
Okay. So if that's more for an individual, but what if it's a couple, a married couple or something like that, and they like, hey, we want to get this house together. What should they look for as credit score?
The credit score, but they're going to take the lowest person's score.
Okay.
So if the husband has a 7 and the wife has a 6, guess what, wife? We're using your 600 credit score. Now, it's always good to just call Andy.
Yes.
And get your credit worked on.
Correct.
Because if both have 700 credit scores, we can get them in a place with a much lower interest rate.
Okay.
But definitely, they're going to take the lowest score with the married couple.
Okay. So, in addition to that, that's again why you should actually look at your credit report, because you do not want to go into an office where your spouse may have a 400, 500 600, and you thinking, well, I got the higher credit score, we'll just put it in my name. They're going to look at both of you guys for a better option because it's 2 incomes versus 1. And then again, they would rather work with 2 people that have a 600 or above anyway. But remember, your interest rate going to affect, your payment, your down payment going to affect. So let's start from the beginning. Just get your credit score together and then get you a good realtor that's going to make sure that everything is in place. All right, guys, so we'll go on to the 4th question. The 4th question would be, what type of documentation is needed in order to start searching for a new home with a realtor?
The number one documentation that's needed, the absolute number one, is having your pre-qualification letter.
Okay.
So your pre-qualification comes from a lender, where if it's a mortgage company like a Fairway Mortgage, who was my go-to company, Fairway Mortgage, James Lee, or if you're using your credit union or your bank.
Okay.
The number one thing is just make sure you have that paper saying, hey, I qualify for $200,000. It makes no sense for a lot of people think they can go out there and start shopping and start the process, and they don't have any paperwork. They fall in love with this $250,000 house, but only qualify for $125,000. So
right.
That's double the price to qualify for. So just to keep it transparent and know exactly what you're able to afford, go ahead to get that pre-qualification letter from a lender.
Okay, and to elaborate on his answer also is, you have to think about it. Just because you see your score on Credit Karma being a 680, that does not mean your score is honestly and truly a 680. Your scores can be up to 10 to 20 points, or it can be low 10 to 20 points. So you need to make sure, if you're only looking at Credit Karma, Prophecy Guard, or anything like that, that your scores are a little bit, maybe 50 points higher than your average score should be. So say for instance you have a 650, think of it as you have a 600. That way you work more on your credit, improve it more, so you more qualified. Okay. Okay, guys, so we're going to go ahead and go into the 5th question. And the 5th question is, if a person pays their down payment to start building, what happens if they change their mind and no longer wants to build this home?
That's when your realtor comes in. For the most part, when you sign with a builder, I'm not going to name drop any builders in particular, but typically when you put that money down, you've locked and loaded. If you want to back out, typically you lose your money. But sometimes you have a savvy realtor that can get you out that pickle. But it's best to understand and know exactly what you want before you go down there and pay your money, because at the end of the day, it's your cheese, and you don't want to tie up $2,000, $2,500, and you're not sure about what you want to do. So be mindful when you go down there and sign on the dotted line that you might not be able to get that money back.
Right, and it goes into when you guys get ready to pay your earnest money. And your earnest money is something just to hold a property in some cases. But when you start putting down your down payment, that's a whole nother ball game. So try to make the best choice of your situation, your current situation, let me say that. Now, if it comes to where you can't afford it because you had a new baby or you lost your job or something like that, then your realtor can make some adjustments. But if you just like, well, I don't want the house anymore because I'm not going to be with the person, I don't know if that's going to work. So make sure you're okay with what you're doing, and when it's time for that down payment, you are ready to go ahead and get this new home. Okay, so now guys, we're going to go ahead and ask the last question. And this last question says, what if a person wants to lower the home loan after closing? What steps would they take?
So refinancing, that's your best option.
Okay.
Well, that's your only option. After closing, you refinance it. Typically, it takes about 6 months.
Okay.
That's the earliest you can do it. But I tell people, wait a year, watch the rates. As rates decline, that's when you go in there and you refinance.
Okay.
It's very important that you understand that even when you refinance, you have closing costs.
Yeah.
So it's always good to find a lender who's going to help you with some of that closing costs.
Right. That's smart.
When you refinance it. Now, you have several banks, credit unions that offer to help you with with your closing costs when you're refinancing. So it's always good to sort those kind of companies out.
Okay.
You call me. I have places on deck, so I know who's doing what.
Right.
So you can always give me a shout, and I can help you with that. But the number one thing is just watching those rates, and then watching your score, because of course your score dictates those dictates the rate. So of course, if you have a 720 plus credit score, you're going to qualify for the best possible rate.
Right. So Sed, do you have anything that you would like to add, or you would like to tell someone out there that's getting ready to buy a home?
Yeah. Once again, if you're getting ready to purchase a home, the number one thing you need to do is call me, saidthomas.com, Facebook /Realtor Said Thomas, Instagram Said Thomas. And if you're not quite ready to go, of course, give Just Ask Andy a shout, and we'll get you guys going in the right direction. The first thing I want everybody to understand before I leave is that you need a realtor. Now, that's not coming out your pocket. If you're buying a house, he's getting paid by the seller, so that's not coming out your pocket. Definitely get you a realtor. They can help you with the process, help you understand what's going on.
Right.
It doesn't have to be me, but I would appreciate it. It doesn't have to be me, but I appreciate it. But definitely get you somebody who's good, who's talented, and who knows the market.
All right, guys, so that's the end of our interview with Said Thomas. Again, he gave you his information, so you can contact him. Also, if you need the information, I'll drop it below this video, either on YouTube, on Facebook, or Instagram. So if you guys want to get more information about me or Said, we're actually doing a live next week. That's a Q&A. So hit us up. If you have any questions, you can email me at justaskAndy1@gmail.com. And you can find me on Facebook with my company name, Accurate Fitch Credit Company. So again, any questions, just hit us up or leave it below. Have a good day.
Action! This the before the scenes stuff. All right, you ready? I need to say more. That doesn't sound good. Said Thomas.
You can keep going because I can edit it.
Okay. Okay. No,
Ready? This is Andy with Just Ask Andy. I'm here with Said. Time out. Are you gonna say like your hook name, or we just saying Said? And you're gonna have to introduce yourself, but I don't know if you want me to. Said, just stop. Okay. Hey guys, it's Andy with Just Ask Andy. I'm here today doing another interview with. No, I'm not doing another interview.
That's not an interview.
Yeah. No, it's not another interview. Like I didn't interview.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
gotcha. I follow. Okay, good. She messed up.
This chair. I'm like,
You'll turn me out the
I just feel like I'm just going like this, like a little kid.
All right, this is. I love these. I like tall chairs. When I go to the grocery store,
Me too.
I get tall chairs.
But it's just like.
I mean, like to the restaurants.